What does it take to get a compliance analyst role in AML? In this video, we will uncover some important aspects that you want to keep in mind if you are applying for a compliance analyst role. In my one-on-one discussion with my guest today, Adnan Skiljo, who worked for several years as a compliance analyst, we will review some day-to-day activities, clarify how this role fits within the broader AML program, and many more interesting info for those of you that are considering or are applying for this role. So let's jump right into today's video. Hey everyone, this is my second video, part of my mini-series where you can discover more in details how it actually is to work in some of the most common roles across the AML and financial crime prevention industry. We are covering today the compliance analyst role, and in the video description right below you will find links to other videos related to other roles. So here is my conversation with Adnan. I hope it will help you to learn more about the compliance analyst role. Hi Adnan, how are you today? Welcome to FinCrime Agent.
Hi Marco, how you been? How you doing?
All good here, thank you. Nice to meet you, and thank you for offering to share your experience here with the audience.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. I wanted to start with a question that is more relevant for those that are going through the interview for the role as a compliance analyst. So the first question is, during the interview stage, are there any key topics perhaps that candidates should make sure to cover when they're speaking with the hiring manager?
Yes, so I would say if you have already work experience, I would focus on speaking on that, and especially what kind of tasks you did at that job, because the hiring manager will find it intriguing. If you have any investigative experience, if you're like a bank teller, for example, you speak with clients every day, cashing in and withdrawing their deposits and etc. If you don't have work experience, but you have some college courses, I would say focus on talking about those specific courses and how could they apply for the job position you apply for. That's very helpful as well.
Thank you, Adnan. And in terms of those people that are joining now the industry, is there a specific qualification that may be preferred to work as compliance analyst, and what type of background maybe candidates should have in their CVs?
Yes, and as I mentioned previously, with this industry, I would say they value work experience, and if you're able to get some sort of a certification, it could be ACAMS, for example. I think that's the most popular where people get it. If you worked at an entry-level position anywhere, as a banker, account manager, that's the honestly type of qualification they work with. They want to see your experience of you dealing with customers, dealing with policies and procedures. And I would say because it's kind of in this industry, there's no real degree for you to be a financial crime agent, because every company has different policies and procedures. So your work experience, and if possible, if you're able to get one of those entry-level certifications by ACAMS, for example.
In terms of the software that are used in this type of role, can you expand a little bit on what type of applications that they can expect to be using?
I would say any software that allows you to do any investigative role, a software that gives you information on the individual or company that you're researching, beneficial ownership, their past history, address, some of the softwares that allow you to review their social media profiles, YouTube, LinkedIn, etc. Any software like that gives you access to that type of information.
How long have you been in that role as a compliance analyst?
Compliance analyst over 6+ years.
So quite a good length of experience in there. And with that amount of time, would you be able to share maybe some pros and cons of the compliance analyst role?
Absolutely. I would say in general, when you work in compliance, one of the pros is you get to work with all different kinds of departments, because compliance is company-wide. So you get to meet and learn how other business units function. And it's also good exposure, because you will work with government agencies when it comes to being examined, audited, and all that stuff. So it's great exposure. On the negative side, I would say just be prepared. There's going to be a lot of pushbacks. You will hear no a lot, because you might come to them and say, no, we can't do that. The company and the ownership might have a little different views. Their risk appetites might be different. So always when it comes to that, I would say what I learned is just present your findings and let them know of the risk that's potentially attached to it. Just don't jump to the conclusion, no, we can't do that, because they don't, your upper managers and ownership does not like to hear that. Just because I came from banking and then I switched to a private company, and their thinking is different.
I know you're based in the States, and I know, of course, a different type of roles will have different boundaries in this aspect, but maybe can you share some range in terms of the salary that would be usually offered for this type of role?
Yes, absolutely. I'll put it in two ways. I'll talk about first as an entry-level compliance analyst. And we've seen an increase in this industry just in salary, and because of the pandemic and everything switching over to more like digital banking, digital lending, I would say an entry-level compliance analyst, you're looking around 60,000 USD all the way up to like 75,000 USD. Yeah. And if you're coming in as an experience, you're kind of going, let's say as a senior compliance analyst, because you already have experience, I would say you're looking around 80 all the way to $95,000 USD.
Thank you. And lastly, I wanted to ask you, what are usually the next natural career progression from the compliance analyst role onwards?
I think this is the best part about this industry is, for my example, when I became a compliance analyst and had it building up an experience, I had so many choices, and I always wanted to get into more of the financial crime sector, which this allowed me. Now I'm a senior KYC investigator, so you have a lot of options. You can stay within compliance, regulatory, you can go to financial crimes, you can go even into fraud. So you can all the different type of, in the industry, all the different type of jobs. So that's what the best part about it is. You can go anywhere from there.
It's a great role to start with a career in anti-money laundering and financial crime and fraud, as it opens many doors. So that's all for today, Adnan. I want to just say thank you for spending time with us today, and I hope we can talk to you one more time in the future, perhaps when you move to, again, another role.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Marco.
It's a pleasure. Nice to meet you, and have a good day.
All right, take care. Bye.
We're now at the end of this video. If my contents were useful to you, press the thumb up on this video and leave your feedback in the comment section down below. Also, check the video description if you want to support the development of my FinCrime Agent project on patreon.com/FCAgent. And lastly, thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and until next time, see you soon.